Audio Jungle. Good day, I'm Abrian Mixon, and this is News Channel Global Affairs World. Trump clarifies cabinet control over staff cuts. In Washington today, President Donald Trump firmly stated that his cabinet secretaries, not billionaire Elon Musk, have the final authority over staffing decisions and policy in their respective agencies. This announcement comes after growing concerns over the Department of Government Efficiency's aggressive cost-cutting measures. Musk, who was present at the meeting, reportedly expressed his agreement with the president's directive. The White House had been receiving complaints from agency heads and Republican lawmakers about the department's blunt approach. However, Trump reassured reporters that Musk's role remains advisory, emphasizing his expertise in cost reduction. SpaceX's Starship explodes mid-flight, debris falls over Caribbean. In another major development, SpaceX's Starship rocket suffered yet another failure, exploding in space minutes after liftoff from Texas. This marks the second consecutive mishap for Elon Musk's Mars exploration program. Fiery debris rained down over South Florida and the Bahamas, prompting temporary air traffic restrictions at major airports in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Orlando. The Federal Aviation Administration has launched an investigation into the incident. Despite setbacks, the Starship remains crucial to Musk's vision of sending humans to Mars within the next decade. Democratic states sue over Trump's mass federal worker firings. A coalition of 20 Democratic-led states, led by New York's Attorney General, has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, challenging the mass dismissal of federal workers. The lawsuit argues that Trump's move to downsize the bureaucracy violated federal employment regulations and failed to provide adequate notice to affected employees. Trump and Musk have defended their actions, calling it a necessary step to eliminate inefficiencies in the government. However, the legal battle could pose further complications for the administration. Trump tariffs could increase costs for California fire victims. Thousands of residents in Los Angeles County preparing to rebuild after the devastating Palisades and Eden fires could face increased costs due to upcoming tariffs on key building materials. More than 16,000 structures were lost in January's fires, leaving communities scrambling for solutions. With cleanup efforts still ongoing, experts warn that the impending tariffs could significantly raise construction expenses, making recovery even more challenging for fire victims. NYC Council Speaker Adrienne Adams enters mayoral race. In New York, City Council Speaker Adrienne Adams has officially launched her bid for mayor. She joins an increasingly competitive Democratic primary field, which already includes former Governor Andrew Cuomo. Adams, emphasizing the affordability crisis and political turmoil at City Hall, vowed to restore stability and fight back against external political influences. With the primary just months away, the race for New York's leadership is heating up. Illinois residents vote to keep current state flag. A public vote in Illinois has confirmed overwhelming support for keeping the state's current flag design. After a 5-week voting period, 43% of the 385,000 votes cast favored the existing flag over various proposed redesigns. While some critics have dismissed the current flag as outdated, Secretary of State Alexei Giannoulias highlighted the strong public preference for maintaining this symbol of state pride. Intelligence agency warns of AI election interference. Canada's Cyber Intelligence Agency is raising alarms over potential AI-driven election interference by foreign actors, including China, Russia, and Iran. A newly released report warns that these nations are likely to deploy artificial intelligence for disinformation campaigns and cyber attacks ahead of Canada's federal election. While the report acknowledges the evolving nature of these threats, officials maintain that it is unlikely AI will fundamentally compromise the integrity of Canada's democratic process. Ukraine's energy infrastructure damaged in Russian strikes. Ukraine has once again faced a heavy assault on its energy sector, with Russian missile and drone attacks targeting critical infrastructure across multiple regions. Ukraine's energy minister confirmed significant damage to natural gas production facilities operated by state-run firm Naftogaz. Emergency crews are working tirelessly to stabilize power and gas supplies as the war-torn country braces for further attacks. Singapore extends work permit duration for foreign workers. Starting July 1, 2025, Singapore will remove the cap on how long migrant workers can remain employed in the country. Previously, work permit holders were limited to a 14 to 26-year employment period. This move aims to help businesses retain experienced workers while bolstering economic growth. However, the new policy does not apply to migrant domestic workers, who remain subject to different employment regulations. China-India relations see positive developments, says Chinese Foreign Minister. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has highlighted positive strides in India-China relations following last year's breakthrough negotiations that ended a 4-year-long border standoff. His comments follow the meeting between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping in Russia. While diplomatic tensions have eased, experts caution that long-term stability between the two nations remains uncertain. Sikh coalition demands investigation into deportee mistreatment. The Sikh coalition has called on U.S. authorities to investigate allegations of mistreatment of Sikh deportees. The civil rights group claims that deported individuals were subjected to prolonged restraint and had their religious articles confiscated. A formal complaint has been filed with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division. The coalition is seeking a thorough inquiry and policy changes to prevent future violations. India in strong form ahead of Champions Trophy final. As India prepares for the Champions Trophy 2025 final in Dubai, the team is in top form with 4 consecutive wins in the tournament. Key performances from pacer Mohammad Shami and spinner Kuldeep Yadav have bolstered India's success, with batsman Shubman Gill leading the charge. Fans eagerly await the final match, where India hopes to claim the coveted trophy. That wraps up tonight's broadcast on News Channel Global Affairs World. I'm Abrian Mixon. Stay tuned for more updates and in-depth analysis on the stories shaping our world. Audio Jungle.